Just Arena people, welcome back to the channel. How is your day going? Hope you're good. So today was Coffee with Khosi, the talk show. And guys, it was really an interesting one. Guess who our guest for the show was? Ipeleng. And as usual in the show, Kosi introduced her guests, they hugged, like she welcomed her guests to the show. And then the show started proper. Like I always do on my channel, before I go into the gist proper for this video, I want to say a very big welcome to you guys that are watching this channel for the very first time. Please go ahead and click on the subscribe button. Support your girl by subscribing. Thank you so much, my returning subscribers. I appreciate you. Thank you for always. Down to the show. So on the show Coffee with Kosi today, there was a little twist as Ipeleng doesn't drink coffee but tea. So Kofi said she's the first guest she is hosting on the show that wouldn't be making coffee but tea. So Ipeleng went ahead to make her tea with the different stuff provided by the hostess. Then they went down to the question and answer. It was quite an interesting interview, if I may say so myself. Ipelen talked about, growing up and feeling insecure about her height because she's a tall girl. And she talked about being hairy because she has lots of hair. She became very conscious of herself in her high school, which made her high school experience not so good. Like she felt so different from the other kids. Even the beauty standard, she wasn't even fitting in there. She didn't believe she was beautiful and she wasn't even confident in herself because of how she was made to feel in those years. And it stuck to her even upon getting into the Big Brother house. She thought no guy would want her for her, that they would just want to be friends with her because she's used to having male friends, nothing more. So she thought that was what it was going to be in the house. And this somehow got her worried. But coming into the house, she realized that she isn't even as tall as she thought she was. Kosi then asked her about being triggered when someone in the house mentioned she was tall. Peleng said yes, she was triggered because of the past experiences she has had, and she came into the house to challenge herself, and she prefers people telling her stuff like, oh, you have a beautiful smile, you have beautiful eyes, you're so beautiful. She already knows that she's a tall girl and she would not want someone to mention it to her, that it always gets to her because it is something that she's trying to be comfortable with. Ipeleng also went on to talk about how her mom encouraged her to come to the show, that it was one thing to watch the show and another thing to actually be in the show. Though her mom was scared, but she just told her, just go. That when she went for the audition, she started crying and she said, God, wherever you want me to be, I will be. Because she remembers going to write a police test and an interview in one of the biggest insurance company in South Africa, and she has been wanting to work in that company. Then after the interview, she got a quick response from them. They go back to her and they told her that, sorry, your interview didn't go as expected. So going for the the Big Brother audition, she was emotional and she started crying because no one has ever paid attention to her like that, to even call her that we want to see you. That was a big and a mind-blowing moment for her. And when they told her that congratulations, you would enter those doors, that she couldn't believe it. It was scary for her. She was like, why me? And I was like, why not you, Ipeleng? Kosi asked her about being in the show with Nigerians. What does she know about Nigeria? Ipeleng said she knows Nigeria has more than 200 languages. She went on to say she somehow struggled with the Nigerian music, especially the lyrics. It's not something she's used to, that she has learned about the different cultures in Nigeria. She has also learned that there are diverse cultures, even though, they are all from Nigeria. Like this other housemate, they are all from Nigeria, but they have different cultures. Like they are from different ethnic group in Nigeria. They in South Africa, they have their own ethnic groups or they have their own various culture, but it is not as it is in Nigeria. Like Nigeria is so different and there are so many. So Kosi asked her if she thinks that eventually she realizes that as different as we are, if we are the same. Ipele said definitely we are the same. We are as human as the next person. And to be able to live in a house like the Big Brother house, you need to coexist and respect each other. If not, there would be lots of misunderstanding. At this point, Big Brother called Ipeleng for a diary session. So moving over to Ipeleng's diary session, it is quite a long one, but guys, I tried to cut it as short as I could So in Ipele's diary session, after the how are you and all that from Big Brother and the response from her, Ipelen talked about being scared of the outside world, and Big Brother asked her, why does the outside world scare you? Ipeleng said it scares her because coming to the house, she had a dream about where she wants to be or where she sees herself after the show, that no one wants to go back to the same life they left behind. That of course she wants to go back to her family, to her space, but at the same time she wants to go back and excel. So her worry and her fear is she doesn't want to go back and still become the same person, still doing the same thing. She knows her life won't change instantly at the snap of the finger, but she would love to push herself even more to the point where she is doing things she has always loved and wanted to do. But then, what if she goes out and no one wants to work with her? At this point, it is really scary, and she hopes everything she has done in the house have made people realize the kind of person she is more than anything. She wants to be accepted. The house has been the safest, as she has never felt so safe in her life. And now she has to go back. Not that home is not safe, but in here she knows nothing would happen to her. She knew she would wake up and still be in the house, but outside it is different. She has an instance of sleeping, and people came in and took everything in the house, and she's going back to that life again. Yo, it's a lot. Big Brother then told her life is all about perceptive and perception. What if everything works in your favor? Ipeleng laughed and said then she would be very happy and be glad the experience in the house has worked for her and brought out the very best in her and has gotten her to a point where she has always wanted to be at. Big Brother asked her in what ways she thinks she has changed over the past days in the Big Brother house. She said she thinks she has more confidence in herself now and she believes more in herself. And she has gotten to a point where she is happy with who she is. She has learned to embrace who she is. Her height and everything about her, that she has, embraced all that. And to make matters worse, she cannot change anything about herself, that she might go to the gym and work out. It will not make her less taller than she is. Even if she goes to the doctor and say, oh, cut here, it will not still reduce her height. So she has come to terms with all that and she's loving herself the way she is. And I was like, way to go, Ipeleng. Like, this is actually good news. This is a very beautiful one. Knowing that her confidence in herself has, increased, and she believes more in herself, and she has accepted herself the way she is, because sometimes people will not accept you the way you are until you accept yourself first and you make them see this is who I am and I cannot change anything about me. Then they come to terms with that and they accept you the way you are. So it starts with you accepting yourself, loving yourself and everything, and people seeing that, oh, you actually love this about yourself, and they have no choice but to follow suit. So that's it, guys, for this video. Thank you for watching up to this point. I'd love to read your thoughts and opinions about the gist for this video, about Ipeleng and how much she has improved in the show. Guys, drop your comments in the comment section down below. I'd love to read from you. And also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up to help the channel out, and also subscribe. Guys, I'll see you in my next one. Stay blessed.